Disc Golf Network and you want to just hear somebody bullshit and talk about other things than just sucking up to the players, and that's what I'm here for, baby. Well, that's it. My final take. Beth choked. Ricky made a valiant effort at the end and faltered. Marweed, just probably the most underrated disc golfer in the world, if you really think about it, because he's not really heard of by your average disc golfer. Barella, the truth, showing that he's not scared of the big moment. Gannon Burr, just never out of it. Crazy that Gannon doesn't win every tournament, but he's never out of it. Beautiful tournament. And yep, Isaac, boring winner. Yep, just nothing in me got tingly. Just never once like, ooh, this is awesome. Never wanted to cry. Never felt pumped up. What are we doing here?
You've made history here in California.
I'm in the chat, and please, you're a wizard, Harry. You're a wizard. You've been holding back on me. I'm going up like Hakeem. Funko Pop, shout out. Come on, that's Unfiltered, the truth about oysters. Give it to him. So I did that. Yep, I did. R&B, baby, he delivers. Get your popcorn ready. Chia! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thanks for showing up. No BS, OBS, camera zoomed in, and the chat is lit. Stay tuned in. Like Zach Morris, I got detention. Like the cool kids, I do's this, homie. I thought you knew this. If you didn't, now you do. Had to prove it. Thanks for watching. What's everybody's favorite topic? Leave a comment in the chat and refrain from gossip. Stop it. If you hating, there's no debating. Promise, I'm going up like Hakeem. I can't wait to block you. Nah, dog, cause this a party. Get your popcorn ready, we about to get it started. I'm super grateful, thank you all for being with me. How we looking, am I good? Sitting pretty. I'm elated that y'all would take time to kick it with me. Cause I ain't famous, so I'm grateful for the subs you gifted. Shout out to Shadow, I know my guy is always listening, and I appreciate the bits. Fire emoji pippin'. Let's get it. I'ma give you what you came to see. Please hit the follow button for me. Proceed. R&B Child's High class of 03. Shout out to everybody back home and to everybody that's in the stream. Love ya. Let's go. Let's go. Shit. We testing the game. Oh yeah. Come on. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm repping for my boy, AeroRising. Chill! Now, AeroRising, I see you in the chat. You said you couldn't hear the volume during the cold open? What? Chucha Russ, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Far too
Hopefully y'all could hear the audio. Was it muted? That would be terrible. Let me know if you could or could not hear the audio in the cold open. AeroRising said there was no volume. I made sure my shit was on, still nothing. Then I had to close and reopen. By then it was on. Are you hearing me now? Hopefully. Are you hearing? Is this thing on? Chucha says we heard it. All right, cool. Well, AeroRising, don't trip then, bro. It was a local issue, thank God. Phew. But fortunately, you'll be able to rewatch that joint on YouTube, on Spotify, on Twitch, wherever you get your kicks. Russ Barber says, heard it. Let's go. Thank you so much. All right, cool. And to acknowledge those diamonds in the chat, let's hit this for you, pimp.
Got a Superman bench that I scored from Shaq with an old school caddy with the
Diamonds in the chat. What are we doing? We are testing the game.
We're testing the game. Oh yeah.
All right, so it's just the fan bam, but that's cool. I'm happy with it. Got a cool show lined up for you. I know I say that just about every week, but I mean it. All right, I put a lot of time into this shit. It's a cool show to me, damn it. But that cold open was actually a snippet from my dog's new YouTube Live, baby. YouTube Live, that's right. Our very own AeroRising went live on YouTube last week. And if you would throw up the graphic, look what I made for you, homie. Come on. Pretty sick. So if you don't know this, AeroRising is a disc golf aficionado, damn near expert, if I could say that, And so naturally, he watches all kinds of disc golf programming, but he tuned in to the PDGA Major Champions Cup last weekend, and he gave live commentary. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. So check him out on YouTube. Matter of fact, let me go on and hit this. It's not that part of the song, Ant, but you'll know it when you hear it.
I got this prediction, ain't no more wish.
Come on.
Hold on tight, girl, here's what I see. I'ma be with ya, you gon' be kissing. Yeah, you gon' be kissing on me.
Give it up for my guy. AeroRising says, won't be the show name. I don't know what the hell it'll be, but it won't be AeroRising. Well, that's all right. Listen, you'll get there when you get there, baby. But that is his handle. You can see it on the graphic. I know it's a little small. Pause. The AeroRising. All right, check him out on YouTube. We need the subscribers, baby. We need these. All right. As a matter of fact, shit, we need those on this show. All right, we've only got 2 at the top. We'll tell you about that in a second. And says, Conan always used to open with, we got a great show for you tonight. I know I always say that normally. I'm lying, but not tonight. Shout out to Conan. AeroRising, stay tuned. This is great foreshadowing, my friend. We're going to talk about our guy Conan in just a moment. As a matter of fact, just a few moments. So, and shout out to AeroRising. As you know, he pens most of the jokes that we do in the monologue. So many of the jokes that we use normally. I get all my shit from him. But he came up with a slogan for us. Ours is, welcome to the show and thanks for showing up. All right, let's go. Mark Twain, baby, absolutely. So one more time, shout out to my guy. He's going live. I support it. We're all about getting better and better.
You just keep getting better and better.
All of us, baby, the whole fan bam. So check him out. Proud of you, bro. I see you. Keep doing your thizzle. All right. I alluded to this a little bit with the subscribers thing, but ladies and gentlemen, we are on the road to 75. What does that mean? Well, also at the top, you can see that we are only 2 followers away from reaching 75, which I think is a pretty cool milestone, as a matter of fact. So when we get there, and it could happen as early as this show, as a matter of fact, could happen. But when we do, we're gonna give away a prize, all right? So anybody that's in the live at the time that it happens, we're gonna do some kind of giveaway, and we'll figure it out together. But that's pretty dope. So thank you all for your support. Thanks for showing love. By the way, it costs nothing to hit the follow button one time, okay? So if you would do that, we'd appreciate it. We only need 2 to get there, and then we'll keep celebrating the milestones as we reach them. Chip. All right, I'm all about showing love, especially to the fam bam. Absolutely. We mentioned this last week, but I'm going to do it again and probably again and again and again. AeroRising says, I was always told growing up not to be a follower. Now look at us, fucking begging, handling. I hear you, Brody. All right. We mentioned this last week. I'm going to do it again, as I said. Ladies and gentlemen, she is a multi-time Emmy award-winning television and film producer. And to add to her list of accolades, she is also now a published author. Give it up for Chucha Barber.
Choo-choo, 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 choo-choo.
We're so proud of you, Mom. We really are. And her book, Oscar the Oyster and Rusty the Redfish, is available for pre-order now on Amazon.com. Matter of fact, there you go. So that QR code, it works, ladies and gentlemen. If you scan your phone, you'll be taken directly to the page where you can make your pre-order purchase. All right, it's a very cool book. And you know what? Because it's my show and I can, who better to tell you a little bit about that book than Miss Chucha Barber herself. Give it up. Give it up. Go on and give them a little snippet, a little taste of the book, Ma, if you would.
She says, no, what will happen to our babies? How will there be redfish tomorrow? And the years after that? So here's the birds swooping down, the turtles eating them. Baby redfish can find safety between the oysters. They can hide in the small cracks and spaces so that the birds, the big fish, and turtles cannot eat them. We may be small and stuck, but we are very important.
That's right. Come on. What's her name?
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
Absolutely. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Oscar the Oyster and Rusty the Redfish. Aww. It's a beautiful book. I actually have a copy myself, naturally. And I hope that you all get one way or the other. Let's acknowledge the chat. Firstly, AeroRising says, Emmy. Chucha needs a new pet, a female. Name it Emmy. I think that's a wonderful idea. Emmy. That's very cool. Chucha says, and a barcode. All right, and a barcode. So, there's that. Listen, we're all a bunch of creators, all right? So give it up one more again for the whole fam bam, top to bottom. And not for nothing, we're Shadow when you need him. We're hoping he comes back to the live stream, all right? But there you go. And says, dang it, you missed my joke comment. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, here it comes, pause. I wonder how much I can get for the one we were gifted on the black market. Amazon Crime. All right. Sorry about that, man. There's a lot of activity happening in the chat all at once. You're trying to manage it all. What are you going to do? But I got that all for you, Paul. All right. A little talk show fodder. Cool. Moving this train right along. Something else to mention. Now, it was redeemed last week, but there is a brand new channel redemption point in that little space. So if you know about that, if you know how to use channel redemption points, and I'm looking at y'all, you certainly do. There's a new one. It's like a little Easter egg. It's a 1 of 1. It can only be used once per stream. It only costs you 1 token, so it's worth making use of. And when you find it, you'll be the one. How about that? All right. Shadow's not here, but if he were, he'd probably. Oh, there it is. Well done. Chucha is the first to do it in chat today. Well done, Chucha Barber. So it's less cool if you have to hype it up and tell people about it, but I figured y'all didn't really notice that last week, so I'll tell you about it today. So now y'all are up on game. Hold that thought. Well done. Speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next is a very cool segment. It's one we don't get to do every week. We did one last week, and I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. I told y'all about something pretty dope. This segment is called Put You on the Game. All right. So Put You on the Game. This is where R&B gets to tell you about something cool, something noteworthy, something newsworthy, topical, might relate to technology, entertainment, infotainment. Could be anything. Could be anything. The White Buffalo, who knows? So today, this is a bit of topical news and nothing you probably aren't already aware of, but we'll dive a little deeper. Wait for it. Pause. Ladies and gentlemen, the world elected a brand new pope. Give it up one time. Pope Leo the 14th. So, I'm gonna tell you all about it. Here we go. In a historic moment for the Catholic Church, Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost of Chicago. And let me pause right there. I got something very special for you. This is something most of y'all don't know about. Where's he from?
Chicago, Chicago, Chicago.
Tell him, Mike.
Chicago.
Hey. I'm gonna let it ride for a second.
Chicago, 1945. Cubs lost that year.
All right. Give me a little love for that, huh? Come on, that was great. That's just a little Easter egg. Most of y'all never heard that song from Michael Jackson one time. That is called Chicago, 1945. And I see you, Aunt. He says, Noah Prevost, brother. Uncle, excuse me. If you know, you know. All right, moving right along. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost of Chicago, ladies and gentlemen, has been elected as Pope Leo the 14th. He is the first American to ascend to the papacy. Now, that's what's being said all across the internet. Now, I don't like this because I believe Pope Francis was from the Americas, huh? He was Argentine, Argentinian. And in my mind, that's South America. That counts. But I get what they're saying. He's from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? All right. At 69.
That's what she said.
Pope Leo brings a unique blend of American roots and global experience, having served over 2 decades as a missionary and bishop in Peru. Shout out. I've been there, baby. He also holds citizenship there, which is pretty cool. His election signals a continuation of Pope Francis's reformist legacy, emphasizing inclusion, social justice, and outreach to the marginalized. AeroRising says, like 200 cardinals up for it, and gonna tell me that the first United States cardinal ever just happens to get picked? It's all politics. Ain't no separation of church and state. Ain't no separation of church and state. I feel you, Brody. Keep them coming in the chat.
That's what she said.
Choosing the name Leo XIV, he pays homage to Pope Leo XIII, renowned for championing workers' rights and social reforms in the 19th century. A clear nod to his commitment to progressive values within the church. Congratulations, Pope Leo. But wait, there's more. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's Put You On The Game comes to us courtesy of Miss Chucha Barber.
Choo-choo, 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 choo-choo.
Yeah. As a wonderful dovetail to that new announcement, Chucha says, yes, put us on the game. Bang. Oh, we're about to. Go, girl. I love the emotes. As a nice dovetail to that, ladies and gentlemen, something that I wasn't really up on until my mom put me on game, and hopefully most of y'all, and you've heard the term before, but what does it mean? I'm about to tell you. Introducing the Swiss Guard. Come on. The Swiss Guard. Wody! Ladies and gentlemen, Wody in the chat. Chill. I gotta do it. Not only is she a diamond.
Got a Superman Benz that I scored from Shaq with an old school caddy with
Said
the
it's diamonds in the chat, but she's also my Wody. What up, girl?
I was running through the 6 with my woes. You know how that shit go. You know how that shit go.
All right, very cool. You're right on time to learn all about the Swiss Guard. Loving the emotes. So, again, something you've probably heard about many times, but if you're like me, maybe you didn't really understand what it was or all about it. So I'm about to tell you. AeroRising says, I'm not gonna lie, me, you, and Feather running up on them, and we got a chance, bro. I don't think so. I love the optimism. This is basically the Gorilla verse 100 Men thing. One more game. All right, check this out. Maybe you'll feel differently after I tell you a little bit about it. So, if you've ever seen a photo like the one I'm showing on screen of the Vatican, and you spotted one of these boys wearing Renaissance era costume, okay? No, it's not a themed parade. It's actually the Pope's personal bodyguard, pun intended. The legendary Swiss Guard. All right, check it out. The Swiss Guard was funded way back in 1506 by Pope Julius II. The Swiss Guard was originally created to protect the Pope and the Vatican during some pretty turbulent times in European history. Now, why the Swiss? Well, back then, Swiss soldiers were widely considered the fiercest and most loyal mercenaries in the world. Hard to believe today, but supposedly that's what's accurate. And they still have that reputation and honor. These guys are instantly recognizable thanks to their brightly colored uniforms, designed in a style reminiscent of Michelangelo's era. No, not the Ninja Turtle, the artist. Blue, red, orange, and yellow in bold stripes, they look like they walk straight out of a Renaissance painting. But don't be fooled by the fashion. Beneath those puffy sleeves are elite warriors trained in modern security tactics, hand-to-hand combat, and weapons, including firearms. Shout out. AeroRising says, and now they're known for staying neutral and not fighting at all. Exactly. The Swiss. I don't know. Yeah. Shout out to the Swiss one time. And he says, that's the same outfit Ashley wore in The Fresh Prince when she worked at the corn dog place in the mall. Turn and turn. Churn, baby, churn. If you know, you know. Good one, Ed. I appreciate you, brother. All right. So to join the Swiss Guard, you have to be a single Catholic male between the age of 19 and 30 years old with military training and a squeaky clean record. Oh, and you need to be at least 5'8". So, Ant, I think you make the cutoff, bro. Well done. All right, you can be there. And he says, damn it, there goes our chances. You're still in the game. Oh, no, 30, I guess. My bad. Sorry, I reached for a height joke. I had to do what I had to do. Once accepted, these boys swear an oath of loyalty to the Pope himself. Let's give him, we're all about that. Today, the Swiss Guard not only protects the Pope 24/7, but also provides ceremonial duties at Vatican events. They've stood guard through wars, papal elections, and world-changing moments, serving as a living history with a mission that's as serious as it is sacred. So yeah, they may look like they're headed to a Shakespearean festival, but the Swiss Guard is one of the oldest, smallest, and toughest armies in the world. AeroRising says, I'm not single, you're under 30s, that's their laws, baby, my man. He says, I'll give them that they stand with the best of them. Bang. That's right. All right, wait for it, I got a little more for you. That's what she said. I got a couple of fun facts that I thought were worth mentioning. There is an ad break starting in about 2 minutes, so we'll try to burn through this about as quickly as possible so as to spare you well. Now listen, I'll remind you, if you are a subscriber, you don't have to watch those ads, all right? That's all I'm gonna say. We would certainly appreciate it, but here we go. Some fun facts about the Swiss Guard, putting you on game. They happen to be the smallest army in the world. As a matter of fact, the smallest army in the whole world. With about 135 members, the Pontifical Swiss Guard is officially the tiniest standing army on Earth. Bang. And gunshot intended, they still train with modern day weapons, and while they're famous for their halberds, those big medieval axe spears that they carry, guards are in fact trained in modern firearms and modern security protocols. Of course they are, right? You can't win a modern war, you know what I'm saying, holding swords and shit, but watch this. Their uniforms take about 30 pieces to assemble. My goodness. The ceremonial outfit is hand-tailored in the Vatican and consists of about 30 separate pieces. It can weigh up to 8 pounds. Joke, maybe? I don't know. While they can keep their uniform after 5 years of service, they are contractually obliged to either be buried in said uniform or pass it to a specific Swiss Guard association. So a lot of these boys are getting buried in their uniform. Russ Barber says, I've been trying to subscribe. It's a shock, but my password ain't working. How about that? All right, well, color me impressed by that, but we gonna go ahead and give you one of these, man. Well, hopefully you can figure it out. No stress, don't even worry about it. Couple more fun facts about the Swiss Guard, however, before we move forward. The armor is made in Milano. For special occasions, they wear polished metal armor that is handcrafted in Italy. Yeah, Milan fashion even makes it to the battlefield, huh? They typically speak multiple languages as well. Guards must speak German, which is the language of Switzerland, naturally, but they also often learn Italian, English, French, and even Latin for their duties in the Vatican. And I got something for that. Listen to this.
Look, darling.
Johnny Ringo.
The deadliest pistol there since Wild Bill.
If you know, you know. Doc Holliday says, that's Latin, darling. It appears Mr. Ringo is an educated man. All right, moving this thing forward. They take an oath on May 6th. The bloodiest day in Swiss Guard history. On May 6th, 1527, taking it back, 147 of the then 189 guards died defending Pope Clement VII during the sack of Rome. New recruits honor their sacrifice by swearing in on that day each year. Can you dig that? So May 6th, we just did that thing. Each guard also carries a tailor-made sword. A personalized sword is part of their official gear, engraved with their initials and the year that they joined. They are required to be good Catholic boys because of course they are. Lord knows I don't want to know what that means. But being a good cook, shout out to Chucha, that helps too. While faith is a non-negotiable, being able to cook or play an instrument, let's give it up for this guy. All right, those are considered big pluses in the old Swiss Guard. Lastly, shout out to my gym homies, all right? Bang. There is a secret gym, apparently, in the Vatican. Swiss Guards have access to this private fitness center underground so that they can stay in tip-top shape spiritually and getting them physical gains too. Ladies and gentlemen, we're putting you on game. That was this week's segment, The Swiss Guard. I'm gonna let it ride. And give it up one more time for Pope Leo the 14th. That's what I meant to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are putting you on game. Chip. I hope you all enjoyed that. Again, I'm very, very sorry for the ad breaks. I know. Shame on y'all for not being a subscriber. All right? We're trying to get our bread up, baby. And to anybody that's lurking in the back, but we appreciate you tuning in.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Russ Barber says I'm trying to, man. Fucking trying. Well, listen, I tell you all to write down your passwords, okay? I can't help you more than I help you. You'll figure it out. Again, don't trip. What I would really hate is that you lose the ability to log in and watch, and then we're back to where we started. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. We don't want that. We've been there before. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, some of y'all's most favorite segment, the movie preview game. AeroRising says, don't trip, you'll still be here in July. Yeah, everybody be here. We'll fix it then. Oh, I'll be there in July. Now I understood. I will, as a matter of fact. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be home in July. Come on, home in Tallahassee, Florida. First stop, Savannah, Georgia. Bang. I'll tell you more as we get closer to that. Here's another fun fact. I had the privilege of being with some of my colleagues in Oslo this week. Yeah, I actually just got back yesterday. And I'll be going back next week, as a matter of fact. Bang. So shout out to the homies H5P group and to all my beautiful colleagues. Miss y'all. Love y'all. To some of y'all, thank you for tuning in. To the rest of y'all, shame. Damn shame. Chucha says, thank goodness a password session in July. Yeah, I guess so. Line it up. We'll do that thing. All right. If you don't know what the movie preview game is, stick around. I'll tell you all about it. AeroRising says, I liked your company's original name. Ubel? And he says, they went real corporate with the newer name. No, it's because most people didn't know what a jubel was. I think it means like jubilation in Norwegian, but the product, and I can make a plug, we could do this thing. I'll tell you all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, H5P. H5P stands for HTML5 package. So that's the product. And it makes sense that we would be H5P Group. Shout out. But we were actually acquired by another company, so technically we are D2L, another acronym, Desire to Learn. Okay, so lots more than you bargained for there, but since you asked. He said it had character. You did. It was great. I couldn't even say it right, so I'm glad we changed it. It was also hard to spell the whole thing. He said, all I know is 3PH and DTF, motherfucker. You need to work on your acronyms. Matter of fact, I don't know if it is or isn't, but shout out to 3PH one time.
Let me start with Up north is where my heart is. Yankees, baby, NY till I die, no lie. I've been through some tough times, some rough climbs. You think you had a bad life, you ain't heard about mine. My dad was selling drugs in the ghetto where I'm from. Running from the cops, Tallahassee, here I come. I wanted to go back, if I could, then I would. Thank the Lord I didn't, cause that shit was
for the good. Shout out, man. All right? If you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Chucha says, I was trying to give Russ a subscription and my password isn't working either. The technology gremlins have arrived. All right, well listen, don't worry about it, okay? I don't know what's going on over there. We'll worry about it in July. Let's just get through the show, because again, if you lose access and you're not watching, then we got a real problem, okay? So let's just enjoy the ride. It's totally cool. Don't worry about subscribing. We're doing this. Before we can kick... She says I'm not worried. Good, bang. Before we can kick off the movie preview game, I am going to take you all to the lobby.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully everybody's beverages are topped off. Got your snacks, popcorn, whatever you're having. If it's breakfast, I don't know what you're doing. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the movie preview game. All right. First things first, let's go on ahead. Ryan, if you would, throw up that beautiful movie preview game belt. There it is. That's what you're playing for, ladies and gentlemen. It's a virtual strap, but it is the pride of this show, okay? Shout out. And we want to give due recognition, ladies and gentlemen, the current defending champion today, going for his record-breaking 20th win.
You think you know me?
On this day, I see clearly everything has come to life. A better place in a broken dream.
All right, shout out to AeroRising. He's won this thing 19 times and counting. And to prove that, we are going to throw up the movie preview game leaderboard. Shout out to all of our former champions. There they are. Now, there's a lot more player slots on screen.
That's what she said.
And we want to get those filled up. Pause. Come on, Chucha Barber. I know you want this, girl. So let's go on ahead and do it. Today could be the day. Looking forward to today's game. All right. So, for anybody that might be watching and lurking, you haven't made your presence known, that's totally cool. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Okay? I'm going to assume it. I'm going to will it into existence. The movie preview game in just a second. I'm going to throw up a colored gradient frame on screen, and that means you're about to watch a movie trailer. And all you have to do is be the first person to type the correct name of the film in the chat, and you win. It's just that easy. Now, you gotta beat our champion and our contestants. That's the way it goes. Now look, if you win 3 times, R&B is gonna take you to the movies. And he is playing for his 20th time, which means that AeroRising could be going back to the movies today, all right? And if he does, I wanna know what you saw. I think the last movie you tell us, it was Mufasa, wasn't it? Mufasa! I got a little something for that. I don't know if you can hear it.
What's your motto?
Nothing. What's the matter with you?
All right, come on, that's just cute. I know, I don't know why that audio clip is so low. Oh, by itself, get it? Anyway. AeroRising says, Mission Impossible. Love that, I love that. Chucha says, take me, I could see the trailers. Oh, come on, let's give it up one time.
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
Chill. All right, without further ado, R&B, please go on ahead and throw up that movie preview game gradient. There it is. There it is. All right, now I'm not going to play the trailer just yet. I want to give everybody a fighting chance. I'm going to turn the lo-fi music down so you can really appreciate this thing. Now, we don't give any hints on this show, so rest assured, nobody knows the trailer that I'm about to play. All right? 100%. I typically choose films that I think are cool.
We testing the game.
Okay? Duh. That's not a hint. I'm just saying. It's Ryan's show, ladies and gentlemen, so that's what you're going to get. Once more, all you have to do is type in the chat, once the trailer starts, the correct name of the film. Now, you have to beat the contestants, the other players in the chat, but you also have to beat the trailer. If the trailer says the name of the film in the trailer, sometimes that happens. I know nothing I can do about it. I don't pick any that showed the name in the beginning, so know that. But once that name comes up, everybody's SOL, okay? Fair. AeroRising says, Brokeback Mountain 2. How'd you know? You know what? I just want to go on record. Brokeback Mountain was a great fucking movie. Let's just, if they made a sequel, which they really can't because Heath Ledger's gone, shout out. But if they did, I'd watch it. Sure enough. Who doesn't love Jake Gyllenhaal? Okay. If it's a sequel or part of a series, you gotta say or type the full name of the movie, okay? You understand what I mean by that? I think you do. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm the judge. We've got some sticklers in the chat, but don't worry, I get to overrule. It's my fucking show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, coming up is this week's movie preview game trailer. Contestants ready? Best of luck. Go get them.
Of course, they keep looking at that lab at Wuhan,
A24.
China. If you look at that lab
I love
in
that.
Wuhan, that was established in 1956. Of course, that was the year Tom Hanks was born, the first celebrity with the virus, Mr. Sleepless in Seattle.
If you value your life, you should think twice.
If you know, you know.
Because the people of Eddington like guns.
Your pain is not a coincidence. You are not a coincidence.
Austin Butler.
We are not
Dallas Buyers Club, too. It's not. Shout out to Emily Stone one time. She's wonderful. Fantastic. In my opinion. No penalty for guessing, ladies and gentlemen. No penalty for guessing. He says, I can name every actor. Of course you can. Shout out to Pedro Pascal. I can do that, too. Scrolling. Nope, it's not called scrolling. But I understand why you would have thought that. Looks like we're not studying up. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's the name of the film. All right. No winners this week. That's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are the champion and you defend your title, whether somebody's got to beat you for you to get dethroned. So technically, he's still our champ.
You think you know me?
Give it to him.
On this day, I see clearly everything is come to.
All right. So that was this week's movie preview, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, the film is called Eddington. There it is. And now you can see it for yourselves on screen. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Here we go. Firstly, director and writer Ari Aster. It stars, as you saw in the trailer, Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, Austin Butler, and Emma Stone. Some heavy hitters. Dang. AeroRising says, told you, I've been out the game. They don't have those in Argentina. I was getting old Western trailers. That's funny you should say that. I asked Chucha Barber what she wanted for her theme music before we started, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I think it's pretty cute, okay? Yeah, you mentioned old Western. Shout out to our guy, Young Gun Army. He had a birthday last week. Just because, all right? Just because. AeroRising says, they just got Dirty Harry out there. AeroRising says she wanted Bonanza? How the hell did you know that? Wait for it! No, I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but that's pretty great. Good for you, Ant. Good for you! I don't know how he knew that. Let me tell you how my mind works. Well done, AeroRising, well done. Okay, back to the trailer film. AeroRising says, I grew up watching a ton of old westerns. That's the biggest main one. Well, shout out. Another A24 film. We love A24. They're dope to me. This one is set in May of 2020. The contemporary western, it's a contemporary western as a matter of fact, unfolds in Eddington, New Mexico, where a standoff between the town sheriff, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and the mayor, played by Pedro Pascal, ignites tensions, pitting neighbor against neighbor amidst the backdrop of a pandemic-induced unrest. It looks good. Looks good to me. All right. Well, sadly, none of y'all got it, but that's okay. I look forward to when the movie comes out, we can all watch it, and then we'll review it on the show. How about that? Testing the game.
We're testing the game.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, congratulations. Appreciate y'all being here. Maybe next week, Ant will take the 20-time title home. Chucha says, how did he know? I really don't know how he knew. If you want to know the truth, you just told me. I haven't told anybody, but what are you going to do? He's a very brilliant guy. AeroRising says, shout out to Hoss and them. Shout out to Hoss and them. He also says, Mission Impossible doesn't come out till late May, so you get it. You'll be fine, buddy. All right. That was fun. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, I get to tell you about some dope films / projects / series, whatever I might have seen in the last week since we've been together. This week, I've got 5, which technically makes it... Damn, how long has the reverb been on, ladies and gentlemen? A mega movie review! AeroRising says, dope films? You mean blow? Hey, this is pure Colombian cocaine, ladies and gentlemen. Disco shit. Derek fucking for real? Goodfellas? All right. Before we get into the films and other projects, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta give you the montage put together by none other than AeroRising. Thank you for all your contributions to the stream, Brody. Enjoy.
It's only a movie.
Just look over your shoulders, honey.
Yeah!
Good morning, Vietnam!
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack.
Snakes? Snakes. I don't know no snakes.
Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples?
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Hey, you guys! Enjoy your remaining years.
I will. Enjoy fucking Jules.
I will.
That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Alrighty then.
Get your popcorn ready. Testing the game.
Oh yeah.
AeroRising says, keeping MJ alive since 85. Hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, one time for MJ, you've got access to the Billie Jean emotes. I should have made you hit the movie preview game belt emotes, but go on and do that for me one time, and I can hit this Billie Jean for you. Somebody hit the Billie Jean one time. If Shadow was here, he'd do it. He loves that one. Pause. There's probably a little latency, so I'll wait. Don't worry, I'll wait. Anybody? Nope, nobody? There we go. Chucha Barber came through. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Hand claps. One time for Mike. We are officially no longer monetized. It's all wonderful. We're doing this damn thing. All right. The movie series review. Everybody ready? First up. Typically, when it comes to movies and or series, I start low and I end high. What I mean by that is to say I tell you the ones I didn't love as much, and then hopefully I tell you about some good ones, all right? Hopefully. Not always. Today I do have some good ones. However, sometimes I'll watch something a little non-traditional, right? Maybe it's not a film or a series per se. Maybe it's a stand-up comedy special. right? Or another personal favorite, a sports documentary. And so this week we have 2 special projects that count, and that's what's going to kick off our list. All right. So starting off with a sports documentary series that I'm a big fan of. It's actually on Netflix, ladies and gentlemen. This one is called Untold: Shooting Guards. Pun intended. There it is. So Untold, it's a wonderful sports doc series on Netflix, as I mentioned, and I encourage you all to check those out. There's a wide variety of them, so depending on your flavor and what you're into, but this one was very cool. I actually didn't know this story. Didn't know. I certainly knew Gilbert Arenas, and I'll tell you more about him in just a second, but check this out. First of all, I want to give some flowers. Directed by Walter Thompson Hernandez. You know, the directors of these series don't always get their shine, so I thought we should. AeroRising, I'm so glad you're here, buddy. You're going to have a lot to say, I hope. He says, Gilbert Arenas, I watch his podcast clips often, but this just didn't lure me in enough. I got to be in the mood. Well, listen, I don't fault you for that. As you know, I am quite particular when it comes to when and what I watch and why. So this one caught me at the right time, no pun intended, and I enjoyed it. So I encourage you to check it out. Again, you're probably way up on this already, but for anybody watching, it's a wonderful sports documentary, and if you're into those things, I encourage you to check this one out. So I'll tell you about it. This Netflix documentary delves into the famous, or perhaps infamous, 2009 locker room incident involving NBA players, as seen on the poster, Gilbert Arenas and Jarvis Crittenton. Shout out to them boys. And says, I lived it when it all went down. I know you did. So through their personal accounts, it explores their backgrounds, the escalation of a gambling dispute, and the subsequent fallout that ended Crittenton's career and led to his incarceration. Poor guy.
Well, now they done stop me and I get locked up. They won't let me out. They won't let me out. I'm locked up. They won't let me out. No, they won't let me out. I'm locked up. They won't let me out.
I'm not sure for the fact that he was incarcerated. I'm just playing the record, all right? Pretty cool. So, I'm not going to tell you too much more than that. There are no spoilers on this show, and it's worth watching. It gets heavy, I'll say that much, and pause if that makes sense. But it was cool. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining and insightful. I didn't know about it. I thought it was interesting. Shout out. Chucha Barber says, would you be in the mood if I told you he throws the ball over his head backwards, half-court shot? And then AeroRising responded, I'm the only one who does that, goddammit, and don't you forget it. From the knees, one hand, bang, shout out. So thank you to those of you participating in the chat. For anybody watching, my guy AeroRising, a la Chucha Barber's comment, he does an amazing half-court shot on his knees, pause, well done, AeroRising. Guinness World Records, baby. And says, like your ex-girlfriend, it got heavy. Ouch. I know he don't mean nothing by that. It's just a funny joke, but let's go on ahead, just saying. Ouch. Buzz, your girlfriend, woof. Okay. That was Untold, Shooting Guards. I love the pun of the title, Shooting Guards. All right? I'm going to let that ride. Here we go. AeroRising says, Akon Locked Up, that's the song, my anthem for about 5 years in the 2000s. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and play it again for you since you love it so much.
Well, now they done stop me and I get locked up. They won't let me out. They won't let me out.
He got locked up.
They won't let me out. No, they won't let me out. I'm locked up. They won't let me out.
And I'm so glad you're here for this one too, buddy, because I know you are a big fan of this individual. Ladies and gentlemen, this past week, Conan O'Brien was recognized the Kennedy Center Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. Shout out to our guy, Conan. Chucha says you never heard it? Dang. All right, well, we're going to put you on the game. That is Akon's probably most famous record, I would think. It's called Locked Up. All right? Shout out to Akon. AeroRising says, my favorite. You better have watched Schindler's List if this is the second. I love that. I love that. No, the reason why this is coming out second is because it qualifies as a special project. It's not a series, it's not a movie, so it gets its due shine this way. All right, first a sports doc. Now, it's not a stand-up comedy special. It's an award show, basically, but it doesn't fit the bill for a movie or series review, so we talk about it that way, okay? That's what that's all about. It wasn't about my opinion on whether I liked it. It's too difficult to compare. It's not fair. What is it and why is it relevant? Ladies and gentlemen, this special celebrates Conan O'Brien as only the 26th recipient of the prestigious Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. This special features tributes and performances from comedy luminaries, including John Mulaney, Will Ferrell, Nikki Glaser, Bill Burr, Kumail Nanjiani, Andy Richter? How do you say his name, man? Andy Richter. That's his fucking name. My bad. Andy Richter, Paul Rudd, Sarah Silverman, Fred Armisen, Steve Colbert, Sean Evans, and Tracy Morgan, Reggie Watch, Will Forte, Adam Sandler, and David Letterman, to name several. Okay, Jesus. The special honors O'Brien's influential career in late-night television. Hats off to our guy, Richter. Thank you, bro. Like the Richter scale. You know what happened was, I'll just be honest about it. I knew beforehand, I tried to practice it. I was gonna stumble on Kumail Nanjiani. Jesus, can't get right. I knew I was gonna stumble on his name, and Andy came up next, and my brain was just like, you fucked up, bro. Sorry about you. So that's what happened there. Thank you for correcting me, however. AeroRising says, honestly, it was great, but not as good as I thought it would be. Conan doesn't cry, typical Irishman. I wanted a little more emotion from him selfishly. I feel that. Chucha says, the president has appointed himself the chairman of the board of the Kennedy Center. The honorees will be a little different going forward. That's funny. AeroRising says, spent a lot of nights alone watching Conan. He damn near raised me. Hey, my grandmother raised me. Good shit, man. I look forward to the day, both Chucha and AeroRising and anyone else, but both of y'all, when we can do these podcasts in person live together. This shit's gonna be so dope.
You just keep getting better and better. All
right. But until then, wait for it. You know what it means. Yeah! Now, originally I was gonna clip his whole acceptance speech, but then I thought, no, that would be spoiling it for you all, because I do want you to tune into this. I think it's worth your viewership. Again, I mentioned some of the most iconic names in comedy. Shout out. But I do want to play the trailer for you, because if you haven't seen it, maybe that will kind of pique your interest a little bit. Chucha says, that explains everything, eh? And then AeroRising says, did you say Bill Burr was there? I did. I did mention Bill Burr. He was right after Nikki Glaser. All right, he was in there. Pause. So I'm gonna turn down the lo-fi, and then I will play you the trailer for this week's Mark Twain Award. Check it out. Enjoy.
Thank you all for coming, and shame on you for
Try
being
him.
here.
Conan
was like, don't be cynical, and then collected $50 million. You are the richest underdog in this town.
You prove that not only can you meet your heroes, but when you do, they'll flirt with your mom.
Look, I know this is your night,
Well.
but you look like an idiot right now. You just look at him, you know,
There
the
he is,
poor
Bill Burr.
bastard never had a chance.
I'm a comedian because of you. So after this, you'll be FaceTiming my parents to apologize. We have
Pretty good,
five
pretty good.
wings here, each hotter
He
than
did
the
hot
last.
wings on the
Oh,
shit.
This one really sucks.
He introduced us to a bear who masturbated through a diaper.
It's weird. I don't know why.
This will have been the most
Shout out to
entertaining gathering
Dave.
of the resistance ever.
Wait a minute.
Tracy.
David Letterman is still alive? Get up!
Now let the festivities begin.
Oh, yes.
Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, that was, wait for it, Conan O'Brien's Mark Twain Award Special. AeroRising says, Chucha, you will love Sarah Silverman's part. She goes pretty hard on Trump. Again, you gotta give flowers to the GOATs, ladies and gentlemen. Conan O'Brien, comedic brilliant mind. fantastic. He's done so much. I won't give all his accolades. You should watch the special, and then you'll know. Put your own game. Hope you enjoy it. That was today's second title. All right, now we get into the thick of it. Pause. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next are this week's movies series. I never know how to say that. The first one, not great. Not great at all. But I watched it. I'll tell you about it, and then we'll talk more. Remember, they start low, they end high. Coming up first, this one's called Freaky Tales. Freaky Tales. This is what the poster looks like. In the chat, AeroRising says, new season of his HBO Max show. First season, he went to Norway. I'm sure you never watched, but... Who are we talking about? David Letterman? I'm not sure. Russ Barber says, ads. Hey, man, if you were a subscriber, dawg, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
I wanna know who Russ is. I want him to show me.
It's also on an ad. Well, it's going to end in 30 seconds, so just bear with it. Lady, you're not missing anything, as a matter of fact. This first title is called Freaky Tales. Bang. Now, the poster looks kind of cool, and I was intrigued because it stars Pedro Pascal and Jay Ellis. I like both of those boys. Also, my guy, Ben Mendelsohn, and if you know, you know. Chucha and Russ, you're gonna know him from a little show called Bloodlines. Remember that? Huh? Well, he's in this. He plays the cop. So, this one is written and directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. Shout out to Ryan one time. AeroRising says, need subs, got ads. What's this, math class? Get it? Subs, ads, you get it. Russ Barber says, here's a Chapo report. Alligator bumped a canoe in Lake Kissimmee and ate the woman who fell out. Damn. Fucking hell. Chapo report. We'll do it just because.
Chapo.
That was this week's Chapo report, courtesy of Russ Barber. Hand claps. So he's saying, and I'm gonna guess it happened. Oh yeah, Lake Kissimmee. That's in Florida. Damn, alligator ate the woman that fell out. Poor thing, poor baby. You gotta be careful out there. AeroRising says, bit the woman. She died from the bite. Didn't eat her. Hey, thank you to our correspondents on the scene. It's good to get the facts straight. Either way, the gator bit her. She died. R.I.P. Moving right along. Back to Freaky Tales. No segue whatsoever, but still fun. So, I told you who was in it. The poster looks kind of cool. I didn't know what to make of it. I was like, what is this, a horror movie? What am I doing here? It is set in 1987 Oakland. Shout out to Oaktown one time. And I thought that was cool too. I was like, oh, it's on some like Stranger Things shit. Well, kind of, sort of, not. It's an action comedy that interweaves 4 stories inspired by real events, highlighting the city's vibrant culture. Again, shout out to Oakland. Notable cameos, no spoilers, but this is important, include Oakland icons Tom Hanks and Marshawn Lynch, to name a couple. Bang! Did y'all know Tom Hanks went to high school in Oakland? I didn't know that. So Tom Hanks is in this movie, as a matter of fact. So it's a very silly movie, if I could say it that way, and there are 4 separate stories, but they're all interwoven, and that makes it fun. Too Short does the narration. Shout out to Too Short. He's in this. So let me give shout out to the stars one time. Pedro Pascal, I mentioned, Ben Mendelsohn, Jay Ellis, and Too Short. For sure. Too Short. He has a small role, and then he has a presence in the show, but someone plays his part because it's like a young Too Short. 1987, ladies and gentlemen. So it was cute. It was fun. It held my attention. It wasn't a great movie. It wasn't. I don't think anybody in this fucking movie would tell you it's great. There's a lot of action. It's a lot of over-the-top shit. It's a little funny, right? I mentioned it's an action comedy. Freaky Tales, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure where you can watch this. I don't know if it's in theaters, I'd be impressed. But nevertheless, I saw it, so you don't have to. That was the first title of our films/series. AeroRising says, alligators have freaky tails. Come on, man. That's the segue. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, AeroRising. It's not this, but we'll give it to him.
I'm Anthony, he's Anthony.
get it. Sorry, again, there's a lot happening on my end, so it's difficult for me to put all the little puzzle pieces together, but thank you for that.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Loving it. Also, AeroRising, we're all looking forward to the next Anthony's part of the show. All right, give it up one time for my guy. I know, takes a while to put those together. You were traveling, it's all good. Hopefully next week we're in our next show. Okay, we testing the game. Moving right along, Chucha says, talk about freaky tales. I get it. Then she says, who was it that was in Bloodlines? It's the dude holding the shotgun in that poster there. He's got a different haircut. He plays the brother in Bloodlines. I don't really remember Bloodlines, but you have like two brothers. He's like the bad brother, if I could say it like that. And in this movie, he plays the bad guy a lot, as a matter of fact. He was in Star Wars. He played a bad guy in Star Wars. And he's been in some other things too. He's a really, he gets very serious. But hard to say he did a good job in this. I mean, he was in it, you know what I mean? But it was all a little over the top. Bang. Chucha says, I didn't know Tom Hanks went to high school. Apparently he did. I just didn't know he was from Oakland. I don't think he's from Oakland originally. I think he's from California, but as far as where, but I guess he represents fucking Oakland, man, because the whole project was like big ups to Oakland, I'm pretty sure. So there's that. AeroRising says, yes, because when he was young, he watched what ended up being the Beatles' last performance from his house, where he can see the stadium in the distance. Get your trivia game up. Ladies and gentlemen, my goodness, he is the trivia king. Give it up. Don DeMarco.
Bang, bang.
Shout out to AeroRising for knowing shit like that. Chucha says, my friend was in Bloodlines, Bill Kelly. Bang, he certainly was. Shout out to our guy, Bill Kelly. I don't know if he represents for Tallahassee, but we do. Shout out to you, man. I think that's so cool. Yeah, so Bloodlines in the house. It all connects. Freaky tales, alligator bites. You get it. You get it. All right, we're going to move this thing right along. Ladies and gentlemen, this next title, we actually played the movie preview game once upon a time. I try to do that, and because remember, I picked the titles that I think are cool, so naturally I'm gonna go watch those most likely. But if we play a trailer, I do essentially want to watch it. So again, sadly, not great. I didn't go into it thinking it would be great, but I do like the two title stars. I'll tell you who they are. They are Paul Rudd and Miss Jenna Ortega, okay? So it is called Death of a Unicorn. And it also happens to be another A24 film, which we love. We love A24. Chucha says, I'm going to tell him we talked about him. New potential follower. Hey.
Thank you. Far too kind.
That's dope. You do that. You should tell all your friends. Tell all your friends. All right, Death of a Unicorn, written and directed by Alex Scarfman. I hope I say that correctly. Written and directed. It stars, as I mentioned, Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, also Will Poulter, Tia Leone, if you know, you know, and Richard E. Grant. And they all do a really good job of this. It's a comedy. It's a horror comedy, as a matter of fact. A father and daughter accidentally kill a unicorn, triggering a series of darkly comedic events as they are pursued by vengeful mythical creatures. It's a little of this, but it's also pretty entertaining. So it's not a great film by any means, but it's fun, it's entertaining, it gets gory, okay? So if you're not into that, maybe you don't watch it, but it's interesting, and you don't see unicorns in movies all that often, so there's that. Death of a Unicorn, a bit spot on with the title. So I don't think anybody has seen this or has things to comment, so we'll just keep on rolling unless you want to mention it. Paul Rudd, he's great, and he was also part of the Conan celebration, so there's a tie-in there. I don't know if I mentioned his name before, but it's very cute, and you can speak to this. Paul Rudd and Conan have this long history. I guess he's been on the show many times, and they always play this funny little clip of like a kid rolling down a hill in a wheelchair, just for no good reason. It's pretty funny. All right, I was hoping that was gonna bring him on back to the chat, but he's probably tuned out, sadly. Oh, there he is. Yep, laugh every time. I love it too. We should come up with something like that for this show, man, where maybe it could be like a channel redemption point. Maybe we just get that one. I mean, it would be like jocking, but it could be like a hat tip. You know what I'm saying? I'll let you think about that. Maybe we add that to the channel redemption point. That would be a funny little scene. All right. Moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, Death of a Unicorn. Meh. All right. I've got one more for you. Earlier I told you it was a mega movie review kind of day. And that means that this is your pick of the week.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that. This one is not a film. Rather, it is a whole ass series. Tougher to watch this series, but we did it. I love it. I'll tell you the cast. You'll understand exactly why. It was great, in my opinion, and I don't say that often. Ladies and gentlemen, The Four Seasons. Mom, Dad, Aunt, Rico, anybody watching, you're gonna love it if you give it a shot. AeroRising, put my name on it. I think you're gonna enjoy this. Look at the greatness in the poster. Ladies and gentlemen, the creators of this are Tina Fey, Lang Fisher, Tracy Wigfield, and it stars none other than Tina Fey, our guy Steve Carell,
That's what she said.
Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, Carrie, Kenny, Marco Calvani, and Erica Henningsen. The Four Seasons. Here's the synopsis, and then maybe, yeah, I got the trailer for you, okay? This Netflix miniseries follows 3 suburban couples vacationing together each season. When one couple splits and the husband brings a younger partner, dynamic shift, exploring themes of friendship, marriage, and ultimately change. Get it? The 4 seasons, change. You get it. He's clever. Come on, we testing
the game. Oh yeah.
Chucha says, we started that last night, and it was the old 4 seasons. Does it switch to modern people? The old 4 seasons? Is it a remake? I didn't know it was a remake. I'm not sure you're watching the right thing, sweetheart. That's hilarious. She was like, yeah, it takes place at a hotel. It turns out she was just watching the ad the whole time. It's a remake, bang. All right, well, I'm confident that even though it's a remake, it deals with modern day things. Again, Tina Fey contributed, and so it's hilarious. I encourage you to watch it. AeroRising says, I might love it. Man, it takes a lot for me to watch stuff that aren't timepieces. War, action, mystery, crime. This just looks like a nice little show about relationships. Well said. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. But it's cute. It's funny. I just think it's great. And again, I love so many of these actors, and I enjoyed it very much. I'm always looking for like a new series to get into, and I love the fact that it's just the first season. Spoiler alert, they do tee it up for season 2. Bang. So there's that. Now, whether or not they commit, I don't know. But I enjoyed it very much. It was great. It's just lighthearted, you know? It's good. AeroRising says, I thought she was making a Frankie Valli joke before season. Russ says, I told Mom this is old shit. Is it? And then she says, we didn't get to the 2025 version. I can't speak to an older version of this, so I'm not sure what it was that you watched or on what platform. It would make, now also try to remember that your Netflix and my Netflix are different. So you may have an old 4 seasons in addition to, whereas I might only have the new one. So I didn't even come across that, but it's pretty funny. Pretty funny to say that. So let's take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned I have the trailer for you. You know it when you see it. It's the movie preview game Gradient. I'm gonna show you a trailer. It's cute. Don't believe me? Well, watch this.
Text Danny and Claude. ETA 431, please be ready.
Danny says you are not the f***ing boss of me. I will emerge when the magic hour light is perfect.
Take me in.
Get in the car!
We've been friends for 30 years.
I love all of you, plus...
Please do not talk about your other hotter friend group. It hurts my feelings.
I know, but that's so hot.
They all do a great job.
Are you guys happy?
Man. What kind of question is that? Come
on. We sit in the same room, monitoring different screens. We're like coworkers at a nuclear facility.
I would love to go someplace alone and just read my phone all the way to the end.
You know those two. Complaining is their version of having sex.
Oh, son. Oh, it's gonna be hot on that boat.
Hey, Java report.
Dad, this feels like a basic midlife crisis.
Okay.
Show your father some respect, even if he is wearing a tank top that you can see his nipples through.
What is going on with you two?
Claude lives in his own opera.
I'm Italian. What kind of a husband are you telling me?
This particular one is many hours long.
We're just people. Flawed people.
We have chosen each other. Come here.
How did you two meet?
Ginny is my dental hygienist.
I get it. She's young and hot, right?
Don't see a ton of upside for me in answering that. I'd like to make a toast to friends, family, and finding your soulmate.
We are going to Burning Man next month.
Let's run the boat. It's not about you guys.
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the 4 seasons. Yeah. Lots going on. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new first-time chatter. It's on some bullshit, however. Best viewers on Stream Boo. Get the hell out of there. Shadow1311, if you're around, man, you know what to do. All right. Chucha Barber says, we didn't get to the 2025 version, sadly. AeroRising says, shit, you got 1.5 seasons out there. You mean here in Tromso, right? Yeah. That's probably the other reason I liked it so much. Oh, they have 4 seasons. I didn't know that. Fuck, we got... You can tell in the background it's still snowing a little bit. I tried to change it up. As it gets brighter and brighter, thank God. We're gonna welcome spring, but it's cloudy as a bitch. And then Chucha Barber says, a friend told me to watch it. The one we found was from 1971. That's not the one. It's not the one. And she said there was no texting in the version we saw, clearly. We'll be watching the new one today. Bang. AeroRising says, just go ahead and assume that everything you see today is a remake, or adaptation. I saw a sad graphic where in 1984, the top 20 movies of the year, almost all of them were original, and in 2024, the top 20 movies, all of them remakes. I think you shared that link with me, and I too was saddened by that. It's fucking disappointing. Where's the creativity? Why can't we just make new shit? You know what I mean? Like, hello. Now, I guess in the same breath, I'll say I'm not mad at remakes. Clearly, I enjoyed this one, and it is, so thank you for making it.
Thank you. Far too kind.
But some things just don't need to be redone, okay? Can we just agree with that? Let some shit be. Pause. Chucha Barber says, right here, I'm making originals. Yeah, you are. What's her name?
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
Studios won't be signing off on it. It's fucked up. I'm not sure if that applies to her comment or just in general, but it was funny. Then he says, they go with what worked in the past. I know it. It's terrible. The 4 seasons. We love Steve Carell. Tina Fey's brilliant. Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, Carrie, Kenny, Marco Calvani, and Erica Henningsen all do a fantastic job. They do. They do well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was this week's movie series special documentary review.
Testing the game. Oh, yeah.
We are about an hour and a half into this show, but stick around. We're going to do a few pages of reading from our favorite book, The Witcher. All right, stick around. AeroRising, if you want to skate, man, I get it. I know you're not the biggest fan. I still look forward to playing Geralt of Trivia. But with just the 3 of us, we're going to hold off yet another week, sadly. Chucha says, let's do a 24-hour show marathon. Do you mean this show or something else? What are we talking about? You want me to stream for 24 hours? A subathon? That would be cool. I would need like a whole... We'd have to be playing games, doing all kinds of shit. She says yes. This show. All right. No pressure. We can do that. AeroRising says, you ain't got shit else to do, bruh. You might as well just stay on stream for 24. You can do it. All right, I tell you what. I don't know if I could do it on like a week. I guess I could do it on a Saturday. We'd have to plan for this because you got to put thought into it. There's also a way, I think, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure, like subathons, as I understand them. Every time someone subscribes, there's a way to set it up where the timer increases. So there you go. The sad truth, though, is that if we get no subs, this fucking subathon could last like 10 minutes. All right, we can do a 24-hour stream. I think we're gonna have to, honestly, we probably have to play a game, and you all would watch me play a game, and then we can do segments within that. Is that something y'all would be interested in? Like a gaming session? Otherwise, I mean, keep in mind, you can't watch movies on live stream because that's like proprietary content. They allow for games to be streamed. I'm not sure how it works exactly. I'm not gonna read the book for 24 hours. I'm just not gonna do it. Chucha says, no one can subscribe. Passwords aren't working. Yeah, it's just y'all, by the way. I meant like in general, like when you're doing it's called a subathon. Like you do it to try to gain subscriptions. But anyway, AeroRising says, got more subs at Chipotle. And they ain't even got subs. See, clever. I would have liked to seen like Jersey Mike's. That would have been too on the nose. Subway would have been a dead giveaway. They have a cool sub spot out here called Big Bite. Bang. Shout out to my Norway sub spot. Big Bite. All right, we'll talk more about the 24-hour stream. He says, yeah, but no subs. I know, I get it. I said that. It's gotta have some relevance. Maybe they don't focus on, all right, you got it, Chipotle. Good one. All right, hang out with me if you would. I promise it won't be a very long reading today. I mean, it might be, shit. If Chucha's tossing coins, we'll see what we do. We'll just get through a couple pages. And then the recap. So AeroRising one more time, because you'll probably leave, I want to take this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to shout out my guy one more time on YouTube. He is the AeroRising. Give it up for him. He's live streaming too. All right. And if you would, hit subscribe on his channel. We're looking for subs, looking for viewerships. So far, he's just doing disc golf, but I think we can talk him into doing more than that. All right? Proud of you, kid. Well done. Clap, clap. AeroRising says, hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave. Ladies and gentlemen, that's his time. His name, AeroRising. He's still our movie preview game champion, so we'll see you next week. Maybe we go for 20 times. All right. Changing it up. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, The Witcher. All right, you know how we like to do. Chucha says, I'm here to the end. To the very end, baby.
Choo-choo, choo-choo.
Come on.
Choo-choo, choo-choo.
Love you, girl. Love you. And this is your favorite segment, I think. We're going to change the lights as we do per usual. The Undertaker theme. We wait for the organs to drop. And then we hit that button. Wait for it. Not bad. Not bad. The Witcher. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up, I'm going to tell you what happened last week. We're going to keep it short and sweet. This is your Witcher recap.
Toss a coin.
You mentioned coin.
This is your Witcher recap.
All right. We're still on, I think it's still chapter 2, man, which is crazy. Is it still chapter, maybe chapter 3, perhaps? Yeah, chapter 3. Sorry about that. The chapters, they just keep going on and on and on. Chucha says, you mentioned coin? I know what's coming next, I'm pretty sure. Go on and do it to him, Chooch. Let him know. We did. We mentioned coin. We are at the Mage's Conclave.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Far too kind.
All right, we're at the Mage's Conclave. Geralt is Yennefer's date. And the two of them are very much in love. It's wonderful. So the Mages Conclave is where all of the mages and sorcerers, sorceresses, they all get together, okay? I'm not sure what exactly is happening, but it's a big celebration. And not last week, but the week prior, we learned that Yennefer is actually part of the High Council, all right? So she's muy importante, okay? She's like top 5, top 10 mage or something like that. All right, so we've been meeting some other characters and the like. Well, there's a woman who's been around. Her name is Triss. Well, last week we found out that Geralt and Triss have a history. I'm gonna clap because that's all I got. But Yennefer, super cool about it, as a matter of fact. She let both Triss know and Geralt know that Geralt is all hers. So shout out to Yennefer for being a cold one. She did that thing. And I thought it was cool how it all went down. In fact, at the end of the last reading, or towards the end of the last reading, I should say, she let Geralt kiss her in public. Oh, all right. So there was a little kissing. So there's that. Chucha says, but that other witch. But here's the thing. I think she's cool. So again, Yennefer tells Geralt last week's reading that she and Triss have a very long history and that they like one another. So she's not a bad witch. She's a good witch, like old Glenda. Anyway, the point being is that even though Geralt, he's a player. Give it up for Geralt one time. All right, I'm gonna show you what he looks like. Look at your boy. Come on, Geralt. Anyway, that's how they write the character, right? He's a handsome guy, and he's a bit of a player. So he and Triss have history, but he and Yennefer have true love. They have real love. Real love. All right. He's not a player. He is. He used to be. He's retired. Man, his family was his... Okay. Anyway, we're still at the Conclave, and then at the end of last week's reading, we're having a conversation with Dijkstra, who is a character that I believe is a representative of a king. Maybe King Vizimir, but don't quote me on that. I think he's a rep, but he's also referred to as a spy. So I don't know what that means exactly. He and Geralt are having dialogue, and I think Dijkstra is sleeping with another mage who, Philippa Eilhart, if I'm not mistaken. Philippa Eilhart, sound about right? And I guess he's doing that to get information. So there's some repartee between Geralt and this guy Dijkstra about, I think, a murder that Geralt may have done. But they're both like, it's all good. I'm Geralt of Rivia. What you gonna do about it? Chucha says, we've been having a lot of conclaves lately. Bang, we certainly have. How's that for topical? All right, so we're gonna pick up this week's read where last week left off, and I should have done this sooner. Shame on me. I gotta change the category, ladies and gentlemen. Changing the category. Reading and writing. Wait for it. It takes a second. All right, there it is. Well, no shame in the game. They missed the Witcher recap, but you all got it. That was it.
Toss a coin.
You mentioned coin.
This is Witcher recap.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick up where we left off last week, and then we'll read a few pages, see how we feel, and as per tradition, let me know. Toss a coin.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty, oh Valley of Plenty.
All right, let me go on and get comfortable. Pull up a chair, pull up a chair. All right, Geralt picking up the conversation that he was having with Dijkstra. I don't have to pretend. I'm not here in a professional capacity. That's interesting, smiled the spy. But confirms the general opinion that says you're special, one of a kind, because everyone else is here in a professional capacity. That's what I was afraid of, said Geralt, also deeming it appropriate to smile. I guessed I'd be one of a kind, meaning out of place. The spy inspected the nearby dishes and then picked up and devoured the large green pod of a vegetable unfamiliar to Geralt. By the way, he said, thank you for the Michelet brothers. Plenty of people in Redania sighed with relief when you hacked the 4 of them to death in the port of Oxenfurt. I laughed out loud when the university physician who was summoned to the investigation concluded, after examining the wounds, that someone had used a Sith blade mounted upright. Chucha says, tastes like crap. The Peapod? I'm not sure. Geralt didn't comment. Dijkstra put another pod into his mouth. It's a pity, he continued chewing, that after dispatching them, you didn't report to the mayor. There was a bounty on them, dead or alive. A considerable one. Too many problems with my tax return already, said the Witcher, also deciding to sample a green pod, which turned out to taste like soapy celery. There you go, Mom. I guess you knew that. Tastes like soapy celery. Innit? Besides, I had to get away quickly because I'm probably boring you, Dijkstra. You know everything, after all. Not a bit of it, smiled the spy. I really don't. Where would I learn such things from, anyway? From the reports of, I don't know, Philippa Earhart? Reports, tales, rumors, I have to listen to them. It's my job. But at the same time, my job forces me to sift every detail through a very fine sieve. Recently, just imagine, I heard that someone hacked the infamous professor and his 2 comrades to death. It happened inside of an inn in Angkor. The person who did it was also in too much of a hurry to collect the bounty. Geralt shrugged. I'm just hitting you with the grades, baby.
Oh, Valley of Plenty. Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty.
Her name is Chucha, she's getting lit up in the chat.
We timed those pretty good. I'm gonna play like a song. Rumors. Sift them through a fine sieve and you'll see what remains. I don't have to. I know what will remain. Most often, it's a deliberate attempt at disinformation. And while we're on the subject of disinformation, how is little Cirilla doing? Poor sticky little girl, so prone to diphtheria? She's healthy, I trust. Drop it, Dijkstra, replied the Witcher coldly, looking the spy straight in the eye. I know you're here in a professional capacity, but don't be overzealous. The spy chortled, and 2 passing sorceresses looked at him in astonishment and with interest. Chortled? That's a new one. Chucha, you love words like I do. C-H-O-R-T-L-E-D. Chortled. King Vizimir, said Dijkstra. His chuckle, I guess it's like laughter. Chortled. King Vizimir, said Dijkstra, his chuckle over, pays me an extra bonus for every mystery I solve. My zealousness guarantees me a decent living. You can laugh, but I have a wife and children. I don't see anything funny about it. Work to support your wife and children, but not at my expense, if you don't mind. It seems to me there's no shortage of mysteries and riddles in this hall. Quite. The whole of Aretuza is one great riddle. You must have noticed. Something's in the air, Geralt. And for the sake of clarity, I don't mean the candelabras. I don't get it. I believe you, because I don't get it either. And I'd like very much to, wouldn't you? I beg your pardon, because you're sure to know it all too. From the reports of, I don't know, the enchanting Jennifer, I wanted to say Jennifer. Yennefer of Vegerberg? But just think, there were times when I would pick up scraps of information from the enchanting Yennefer too. Where are the snows of yesteryear? Sorry, I didn't read that so cleanly. It's fine. Chucha says, laugh in a breathy, gleeful way, also chuckle. Look at that.
Her name is Chucha, she's getting lit up in the chat.
I'm going to read that section over for the fans. I believe you,
Because I don't get it either. And I'd like to. Wouldn't you? Oh, I beg your pardon, because you're sure to know it all too, from the reports of, oh, I don't know, the enchanting Yennefer of Vengerberg. But just think, there were times when I would pick up scraps of information from the enchanting Yennefer too. Ah, where are the snows of yesteryear? I really don't know what you mean, Dijkstra. Could you express your thoughts more lucidly? Do your best, on condition you're not doing it out of professional considerations. Forgive me, but I have no intention of earning you an extra bonus. Think I'm trying to trick you dishonorably? Scowled the spy. To get information out of you using deceit? You're being unfair, Geralt. It simply interests me whether you see the same patterns in this hall that are so obvious to me. So what's so obvious to you? Doesn't the total absence of crowned heads, which is blatantly apparent at this gathering, surprising to you? It doesn't surprise me in the least, said Geralt, finally managing to stab a marinated olive with a toothpick. I'm sure kings prefer traditional banquets, seated at a table, which one can gracefully slide beneath in the early hours, and what's more... What is more? Asked Dijkstra, putting 4 olives, which he had unceremoniously extracted from the bowl with his fingers, into his mouth. What is more? Oh, excuse me. I was reading that as Dijkstra. What is more, said the Witcher, looking at the small crowd passing through the hall. The kings didn't bother to make the effort. They sent an army of spies in their stead, both members of the fraternity and not, probably in order to find out what's really in the air here. Dijkstra spat the olive stones out onto the table, took a long fork from the silver tray, and used it to rummage around in a deep crystal bowl. Not sure who's talking. And Vilgefortz, he said, continuing... Oh, this is Dijkstra. And Vilgefortz, he said, continuing to rummage, made sure no spy was absent. He has all the royal spies in one pot. Why would Vilgefortz want all the royal spies in one pot, Witcher? I have no idea, and it interests me little. I told you, I'm here as a private individual. I'm... how should I put it? Outside the pot. King Vizimir's spy fished a small octopus out of the bowl and examined it in disgust. People eat these? He said, shaking his head in fake sympathy, and then turning towards Geralt. Listen to me carefully, Witcher, he said quietly. Your convictions about privacy, your certainty that you don't care about anything, and that you couldn't possibly care about anything, they perturb me, and that inclines me to take a gamble. Do you like a flutter? Be precise, please. I suggest a wager, said Dijkstra, raising the fork with octopus impaled on it. I venture that in the course of the next hour, Vilgefortz will ask you to join him in a long conversation. I venture that during this conversation he will prove to you that you aren't here as a private individual, and you are in his pot. Should I be wrong, I'll eat this shit in front of you, tentacles and all. Do you accept the wager? What will I have to eat, shall I lose? Nothing, said Dijkstra, and quickly looked around. But should you lose, you'll report the entire content of your conversation with Vilgefortz to me. The Witcher was silent for a while, and looked calmly at the spy. Farewell, Your Excellency, he said at last. Thank you for the chat. It was educational. Choocha! Do you want me to keep reading for a page or two, or are you good? Talk to me, love. More! You want it? You got it.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that.
All right. Last few pages, and we'll call it a day.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, O Valley of Plenty, O Valley of of plenty. Oh.
Farewell, Your Excellency, he said at last. Thank you for the chat. It was educational. Dijkstra was somewhat annoyed. Would you say so? Yes, I would, interrupted Geralt. Farewell. The spy shrugged his shoulders, threw the octopus and fork into the bowl, turned on his heel, and walked away. Geralt didn't watch him go. He slowly moved to the next table, led by the desire to get his hands on some of the huge pink and white prawns piled up on a silver platter among lettuce leaves and quarters of lime. He had an appetite for them, but still feeling curious eyes on him, he wanted to consume the crustaceans in a dignified manner, without losing face. He approached extravagantly slow, picking at delicacies from the other dishes cautiously and with dignity. Sabrina Glevissig stood at the next table, deep in conversation with a flame-haired enchantress he didn't know. The redhead wore a white skirt and a blouse of white georgette. White georgette. Sounds hot. I don't know what that means. I'm partial to reds myself. All right. What is a georgette? The blouse, perhaps that. Chucha says, spell it. All right, I will. It reads like George, but Georgette, but lowercase. So it reads Georgette. The redhead wore a white skirt and a blouse of white georgette. I'm guessing it's a blouse, because then it talks about a blouse, so let me know. The blouse, like that of Sabrina's, was totally transparent. Dang. What's up with these witches, man? They got their bosom all out. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I told y'all, for anybody that's new to the game, these mages, okay, the sorceresses, they go through a transformation, I'm pretty sure, in this universe, whereas, like, they just become exceptionally beautiful and youthful. So I think they like to show that off. Chucha says, it's a crinkled fabric, sheer, like a drape. Bang, what's her name?
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
Well, it's sheer, all right. This damn thing is see-through. All right, here we go. I'll start over. Sabrina Glevissig stood at the next table, deep in conversation with a flame-haired enchantress he didn't know. The redhead wore a white skirt and a blouse of white georgette. The blouse, like that of Sabrina's, was totally transparent, but had several strategically placed appliques and embroideries. Now I gotta read that. This is a French word. I'm pretty sure where's Big G when you need him. Appliques. Applique. All right, it just means embroidery. Come on, we know what we're doing here. The blouse, like that of Sabrina's, was totally transparent, but had several strategically placed appliques and embroideries. The appliques, noted Geralt, had an interesting quality. They became opaque and then transparent by turns. The enchantresses were talking, sustaining themselves with slices of langoste. Damn, now I don't know what this is. Langoste. Langoste. You know, I realized this was written by, I believe, a Polish author, but come on, man, damn. Lobster. Look at that. Cool. Never heard of it that way. Is it just another word for? Look, we're learning so much on this show. All right. Chucha says yes. God, give it up.
Choo-choo.
We're having fun, huh?
Choo-choo. Choo-choo. Choo-choo.
It's not doing anything for, like, the consistency of the book read. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were tuning in like, I thought he was reading. This shit is weird. Didn't have to look that one up. Bang. Shout out to you one time. Langoste. Never heard of it. The enchantresses were talking, sustaining themselves with slices. I wouldn't think of lobster as slices either, but fair enough. Slices of langoste. They were conversing quietly in the elder's speech, and although Although they weren't looking at him, they were clearly talking about him. Slow it down. He discreetly focused his sensitive Witcher hearing, pretending to be utterly absorbed by the prawns. "With Yennefer?" inquired the redhead, playing with a pearl necklace coiled around her neck like a dog's collar. "Are you serious, Sabrina?" "Absolutely," answered Sabrina Glevissig. "You won't believe it, but it's been going on for several years, and I'm surprised indeed he can stand that vile toad." Ooh, we need an ooh. I don't have that. I keep saying that, but I don't have it. "Why be surprised? She's put a spell on him. She has him under a charm. Think I've never done that? But he's a witcher. They can't be bewitched, not for long at any rate." "It must be love then," sighed the redhead. "And love is blind." "He's blind, more like it," said Sabrina, grimacing. "Would you believe, Marty, that she dared to introduce me to him as an old school friend? Bloody hell, she's older than me by... Oh, never mind. I tell you, she's hellishly jealous about that witcher. Little Marigold only smiled at him, and that hag bawled her out and sent her packing unto no uncertain terms. And right now, take a look. She's standing there talking to Francesca without ever taking her eyes off her witcher." Chucha says, "Looked it up because you questioned, and the slice concept, definitely a lobster." Bang. All right, slices of lobster. It's just not how I would describe it. More like pieces, if you ask me. Pieces of lobster. But fuck it. I guess you could slice it up. All right, these broads are catty, and they're chatting, they're gossiping. Clearly, Witcher is a hot topic. "She's afraid," giggled the redhead, "that we'll have our way with him, even if only for tonight. Are you up for it, Sabrina? Shall we try? He's a fit lad, not like those conceited weaklings of ours with their complexities and pretensions." "Don't talk so loud, Marty," hissed Sabrina. "Don't look at him and don't grin. Yennefer is watching us too. And stay classy. Do you really want to seduce him? That would be in bad taste." These bitches... All right, Chucha, so who's talking is the redhead, also known as Marty the redhead, and Sabrina. "Don't talk so loud, Marty," hissed Sabrina. "Don't look at him and don't grin. Yennefer's watching us too. And stay classy. Do you really want to seduce him? That would be in bad taste." "You're right," agreed Marty after a moment's thought. "But what if he suddenly came over and suggested it himself?" "In that case," Sabrina Glevissig, glancing at the Witcher with predatory coal-black eyes, "I'd give it to him without a second thought, even lying on a rock." Damn, these bitches. Should just say, "Marty." "I'd even do it lying on a hedgehog," snickered Marty. The Witcher, staring at the tablecloth, hid his foolish expression behind a prawn and a lettuce leaf, extremely pleased to have the mutation of his blood vessels, which prevented him from blushing. "Witcher Geralt?" He swallowed the prawn and turned around. Oh, excuse me, it was a guy. I didn't know. "Witcher Geralt?" He swallowed the prawn and turned around. A sorcerer, who looked familiar, smiled faintly, touching the embroidered facings of his purple doublet. "Doragary of old. But we are acquainted. We met..." "I remember. Excuse me, I didn't recognize you right away. Glad to..." The sorcerer smiled a little more broadly, taking 2 gold goblets from a tray carried by a page boy. "I've been watching you for some time," he said, handing one of the glasses to Geralt. "You've told everyone Yennefer has introduced you..." You've told everyone Yennefer has introduced you to that you're enjoying yourself. Is that duplicity or a lack of criticism?" "Courtesy." "Towards them," said Doragary, indicating the banqueteers with a sweeping gesture. "Towards them," said Doragary, indicating the banqueteers with a gesture. "Believe me, it's not worth the effort. They're a vain, envious, and mendacious bunch. They don't appreciate your courtesy. why they treat it as sarcasm. With them, Witcher, you'll have to use their methods. Be obsessive, arrogant, and rude, and then at least you'll impress them. Will you drink a glass of wine with me? The gnat's piss they serve here? Smiled Geralt pleasantly. With the greatest revulsion. Well, but if you like it, then I'll force myself. All right, we're gonna stop right there. Chucha says, what? On a hedgehog? Apparently. Ladies and gentlemen, toss a coin to your boy and for your Witcher.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty, oh Valley of Plenty, oh.
Well done. All right, let's change the lights back. Just like we like.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty.
Choo-choo,
come on.
Choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-choo.
See ya. Take him back to the live. I always do that, man. You try to catch them all. What are you gonna do? All right, got to change this from reading and writing back to just chatting, and it won't save because it never does. Oh, look at that. A little reverse psychology on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back and thanks for showing up. Appreciate y'all. What a show, what a show, what a show. Sadly, he didn't make a single appearance. Do you know it? What's his name, nevertheless?
Federico, Fede.
We still love you, bro. We do. We love you. I know you're working, kiddo. Look, Chucha's like, Rico. I know. But that's all right. We did have a special guest stop by. Shout out to my girl Wody one time.
I was running through the 6 with my woes. You know how that shit go. You know how that shit go. You know how that shit go. Running through the 6 with my woes.
Thanks. So appreciate you being here, darling. Thank you so much. I know it's Saturday for everybody, and again, I don't fault you, but I think it was a good show nevertheless, huh? Yeah. I'm gonna say it just because, sadly, we didn't make any progress, but we are on the road to 75. 2 more followers, and we're gonna do something special, okay? So, wasn't this stream? It'll be in the next one, or the one after that, or the one after that. Doesn't matter because we're still getting better and better.
You just keep getting better and better.
Chucha says, it's the best day of the week, streaming day. Oh, girl, you're too sweet to me. Chucha says, I'll get 2 for you, bang. But look, no pressure. I love that this is gonna happen organically. We're not campaigning, it doesn't have to be. I just want it to be fun so that when we get there, we celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I mentioned this at the beginning of the show as well. Ladies and gentlemen, our very own Chucha Barber is now, on top of so many other wonderful things, a published author. Pretty dope. Oscar the Oyster, Rusty the Redfish. Available now for pre-save on Amazon.com. So check that out. Certainly worth doing. We love you, Mom. I'm proud of you, babe. Proud of you. And if you missed the live in the beginning, you can rewatch that on YouTube or Spotify. That's pretty cool. We're on Spotify testing the game.
Testing the game.
And I say that because our guy, AeroRising, is also live streaming. Shout out to him one more time on YouTube. The AeroRising. So youtube.com/the AeroRising. All right? Just like you think. And if you would, hit the subscribe button for him on that platform. All right. Shout out, man. Proud of you, dog. Outside of that, it was a cool show. We had the movie preview game. Nobody won, sadly. But it was fun, nevertheless. Looks like a good movie. I hope you dig that. Matter of fact, I'll show it to you. Here's the poster. It's called Eddington. Looks cool. If you don't know what it's about, rewatch the VOD. You'll hear me tell you. So there you go. And then we did our movie series review. Had a lot of cool titles in that. Chucha says, I love you. Oh, Mom, I love you the mostest, girl. How about that? I had the privilege of talking to my niece this morning. Yep. Russ called me. He said he was watching the news or something and that there was some severe mudslides happening in Norway, sadly. But I hadn't heard about him, and so I told him, I'm cool, man. Nothing to worry. He was like, all right, just checking on you, bro. So that was really sweet. But then Sophia jumped on the line, and I got to see my girl. She's adorable. She's growing up so fast. I got to make it a point to get back out there and hang out with them in person. So if you ever see this, if you do see this, I love you, girl. For sure. All right. Shout out to the whole fan bam. I'll be home in July. Bang. So looking forward to that. Chucha says, I'm going to watch 4 Seasons, and I also love Sophie. Yeah, 4 Seasons. Here's what that looks like, just because. Ladies and gentlemen, the 4 Seasons, it was your pick of the week. Bang. Check it out. It's available now on Netflix. Super dope. Shout out to our guy, Steve Carell, one time.
That's what she said.
And I suspect on that note, we have a wonderful tradition on this show. It's the way we like to end the show. It's also an audio clip from our favorite show, The Office. It goes like this.
This was a successful unveiling. Go back.
All right. And usually we roll the credits right after that. But before we do, I want to take an opportunity. Tomorrow is another very special day, at least in the United States. We celebrate it differently around the world. It's different here in Norway, but I believe it is tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, wish my mother especially, but all mommies out there, a beautiful and happy Mother's Day, huh? Yes. Love you so much, Mom. And you can rest assured I'll be calling you tomorrow to wish you a proper Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Chucha says, thanks for waiting for us to stream. We went to the gym. Bang. And I'm super proud of you both for doing that. Shout out to both Chucha Barber and Russ Barber one time, just because I haven't seen his name.
I wanna know who Russ is. I want him to show me.
Sincerely, though, I am very proud of you both. Health is wealth. Bang. I've mentioned that before. I read this. First of all, I need you to put a pause after that. Bang. Okay? I'll explain that to you offline if you need it. But at first I read it, he's bowling. I thought he was bowling. I was like, who the fuck is he bowling with? Did he and AeroRising go bowling? That's amazing. I thought he was bowling. But no, turns out he's worse. All right, so to clear the air, pun intended, one of my dad's favorite hobbies, for whatever reason, is blowing the driveway, okay? He has like an industrial blower, and he be out there. He just be blowing the leaves off the ground and shit. So, man, shout out. Shout out to Russ one time. And yeah, with the blower, okay? We're not doing anything crazy. And listen, Mom, Dad, call me. We'll work out this passwords thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's happening, but you need to be subscribers, okay? We need that. No ads. So we'll have a session offline. We'll do a FaceTime thing. We'll figure it out. Because rest assured, you can at least reset your password. And if you need to, we will. But I think we can work around it, and we will. And we'll take that offline. I mentioned this too, ladies and gentlemen. There's a new Pope. Pope Leo the 14th. Bang. And we put you on game. We did that. We talked about the Swiss Guard. If you know, you know. Hopefully you know now. So if you're not sure what the relevance of that theme music is and what the Swiss Guard is all about, rewatch the vibe, baby. Learn about it. And if you didn't know this either, old Pope Leo, he's from the United States. Although he reps for Peru, and he's from a little place called Chicago. Just because I won't get to play it again. So here you go. Where is it at?
It was Chicago, 1945.
That shit is so
Cubs
good.
lost that year, but Al Capone was found alive. The suits 40 days in the suburbs of the night, but they found him alive.
Shout out to Michael Jackson one time, man. We love you, Mike. We love you. All right, Pope Leo. Chucha says, love that you did the Swiss. They are so special. And thank you for recommending it.
Thank you. Far too kind.
I thought it was a very cool segment. I got to learn a lot, and hopefully you did too. Once again, just because I can, we got a motto on the show. It is to get better and better and better and better.
You just keep getting better and better.
That's what we're trying to do. How can you lose if you keep getting better and better? You know what I'm saying? Testing the game.
Testing the game. Oh, yeah.
So that's it. I hope we'll stream again next week. And if not, you'll just have to wait until the next one. But we probably will. As I shared with you, I was in Oslo yesterday and the day before. Shout out to the home team. And I'll be there again this week. So I'll be traveling a little bit. Maybe we'll get a new Anthony's part of the show out of him. If you see him, talk to him. And if you see Shadow, let him know that we were all a little disappointed that he didn't say hi. Right? But he watches the replay. Shout out to Rico. And on that note, buddy, I'm going to dedicate this to you, man. Appreciate y'all being here. Love y'all from the bottom. This was
a successful unveiling.
Go back to work. See you in the next one. Peace.
This is for my subscribers. Steve Young in his prime. I'm like a 49er. Get it? Prime time. Amazon subscriber. Never mind. Jerry Rice couldn't catch the vibe. It's over your head like a Hail Mary. I'm player coaching these hoes. I'm Mike Singletary. Handle women like halfbacks. Beast mode. Slide in on the Cash App. Chico. Fuck a DM. Holla when I see them. Probably shoot my shot in the parking lot of the gym. I got paper like I'm Dunder Mifflin. Who is Pam without her gym? Louis Vuitton Christian when I gift him. I see you red. She want a facial on vacation. That's what she said. I might shoot like Dwight Schrute on a beet farm. Leave Kevin alone. The boy got bars. Your girl watch me on the stream. She go crazy. Her name's in my chat. It's a rap. There's no maybe. You know we fucking. It's a subathon Sunday. Baby swallow bits like she love me. Your girl watch me on the stream. She go crazy. Her name's in my chat. It's a rap. There's no maybe. Sorry, buddy. These snow bunnies are hot for me. Tops coming off. And the Tesla's not a drop, homie. I appreciate y'all watching. I love y'all from the bottom. Thank you so much for all of your support. Tuning in, gifting subs, all that. I love y'all. Twain, you ignorant slut!